I'm so happy to be stamping with you today. Let me just get my Stampin' Lips on. I hope you guys are ready for some fun projects. I think I only have one Christmas card, so I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed for most of you. I am myself, well, I need to send some Christmas cards. I needed a little more gloss. That last color did not have enough shine to it, and I'm a kind of shiny person. So anyway, welcome. I I I know, right? I'm still working on Christmas cards too. I have a few that need to be sent. I am kind of done with Christmas, I'll be honest. But then like I see stuff that I like wanted to make and haven't made yet. It's a whole thing, right? So anyway, I hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. I might just be cracking open a little bit of the nectar of the gods. One moment, please. Oh, so good. Anyway, I hope that you guys had a great weekend. I started my Christmas shopping last week, which I think on Friday, so that's pretty good. I had a massage on Friday. And I thought and it was right away in the morning, and I thought, oh, well, I'm out. I should maybe try and pick up a couple things. We can still, we're not locked down here in Iowa. So I did just a little bit of shopping. I started. I'm not buying too much this year, so that's good. And it was lovely to just get a couple things ordered and purchased, so yay. And I don't think I have a whole lot left. I don't know. Christmas shopping is definitely weird this year. I suppose between my husband not having a job and my kids getting older and Corona ruining everything in this world, it's just a little different this year. So anyway, we're going to have a quiet Christmas, and I think that will be just fine. We did also decorate our tree. We put it up like the weekend of Thanksgiving, I think, but we didn't actually decorate it until yesterday. So that was sweet. We always watch a Christmas movie while we decorate our tree. And I kind of wanted to watch Home Alone, but nobody could find Home Alone. So we watched Elf, which is fine. I love Elf. It's the best. It is Will Ferrell's best work, in my opinion. I know a couple people have said that they don't like Elf. I think that's crazy. It's such a good movie. And even if you don't like Will Ferrell, it's not Will Ferrell, it's Elf. So it's so cute. Anyway, it was fun to watch. But my dang kids and husband, for that matter, were sitting there on their dumb phones after we got the tree decorated, and so they just played on their phones. I was knitting like a good girl, so I was paying attention to the movie. But whatever, we were all together. I shall not complain. Jamie says Outlander should have a Christmas special movie. I would agree. Where they don't argue, they just are happy, if you know what I mean. I did, actually, this is kind of fun. I did watch some Outlander this weekend, and I've been working on some swap cards, which I don't have to like think too hard. So I started Outlander from the beginning again because I'm almost done with what's on Netflix, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I should splurge for Stars, because apparently there's 2 more seasons coming on the Stars channel, but I don't have any of the fancy cable channels. And actually, I kind of want to get rid of my cable, but anyway, that's another whole topic. So I thought, oh, I'll start it over. And my husband was like, are you seriously watching this again? And I'm like, yeah, I am. So that was funny. So anyway, there you have it. I'm a little addicted, just teensy bit. But it's okay because we don't judge here at the Creativity Cave, so it's all right, right? Jamie, you will buy classes to support my stars. Thanks. Oh my gosh, I'm giggling. I have some great classes coming out. That's going to be my segue out of Outlander talk because we can't talk about it the whole time. We do have to stamp at some point, even though I might stalk certain Instagram pages. Just it's possible. I don't know. I don't know what my husband's complaining about. He actually has watched it with me. And there's a little something for everyone in that show, right? So there you go. Have I watched Yellowstone yet? No, I've heard from a couple people that have said it's good. What that's on, I think that's a channel I actually get, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Tell me what channel that's on. I've heard it's good. Paramount. Oh yeah, we get that channel. Huh, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I've heard it's good. It's who's the guy in it? Kevin Costner. Yeah. Thank God I have kids already, otherwise they'd have different names. Probably not. Although I was telling, who was I telling? I think I was telling my assistant, we were talking about names because she's got a grandbaby that's about to be born or real soon. Anyway, and she said that she was telling me about her daughter's name choices. And I was saying how I used to be a teacher, and I really struggled with a couple of my students' names from my very first job, because my first job was teaching at an alternative school where the kids were there mainly for drugs, but some of them were there for like behavioral issues. And I taught biology. And well, actually I taught science there. So I taught a little bit of everything. Oh my gosh, that was a hard job actually for very little pay. Anyway, and one of my favorites was a kid who his name was Jacob, and I said, "Do you go by Jake or Jacob?" And he told me that I could call him the supreme ruler of the universe. And I said, without skipping a beat, Jacob it is. I was thinking that I could find out about, I could find out, a little bit more about him and why he thought he could get away with supreme ruler of the universe. But we ultimately told his parents to hire San Jose. I know it is buffering, but I think I'm back. So I'm sorry about that. That's really weird. I haven't had that problem since I got my new internet. So better now. Okay, good. So anyway, we were just talking about names. And so that is funny how names can kind of stick in your head. I kind of like family names myself, so I'm not sure I would have names of like characters from TV shows or anything like that. But anyway, so all right, but we were going to talk about classes. Now, I did see somebody say, there was a question back here. Let me scroll and see if I can find it. Anna says, does anybody keep up with all my classes, cards, lives, etc.? You're behind. Well, you know what, Anna? I think here's my suggestion to you. And actually, this is for anybody. I posted last week, I posted a question on my Facebook page and asked what is the biggest stumbling block when somebody sits down to stamp. And I was a little surprised by some of the responses I got. A lot of people said that it was stressful. A lot of people said they struggle with creativity. A lot of people said that they have to clean their space in order to start. Believe me, I get that one. A lot of people said they just don't even know what to do or where to start or what to like narrowing down what to focus on. So I want to talk about that for just a minute. I think one of the things that is really, 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 really important is many of you love this hobby. Many of you, right? You wouldn't be here if you didn't. And you've invested in this, right? So, what I highly recommend is that you take time to make your, whether that is in time or money. So, take most of your monetary investment, but also your time. So, people say, oh, I'm too busy to stamp. And I say, oh, no, 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 no. I think if you want to do something, you will find the time in your schedule. You'll make it a priority. And in order to make it a priority, that might mean that you have to close the door and say, do not even think about bugging me. Or find a quiet spot, because one of the other ones was that people were getting interrupted and that kind of thing. And while I get busy, believe me, I work 80 hours a week on average in this job right here to inspire you guys, but yet I do find time to stamp. And sometimes stamping is the least of what I do, but oftentimes I will find the time. Now, do you want to know a little secret? I have carved out time in my schedule to stamp every, I don't want to say every single week, this particular time, but just like probably 3 out of 4 weeks. So what I do is I have worked it into my schedule. I've blocked it off on my schedule, and my family knows it's important to me and that they need to leave me alone. So that is one thing that I do. Also, because stamping is my job, but it's also my hobby, it does get a little complicated. But again, prioritizing that time. Now, a lot of you said people bug you when you stamp. Believe me, I get that one too. And COVID has definitely thrown a wrench in that because everybody's always around, right? They never just leave. And so I think that again means you need to communicate with the people in your household and say, okay, this is my time for me. You need to let me be for, a set amount of time. Now, in an effort to make the most of that time, I would say if you're penciling it into your calendar, maybe jot down what you want to do. Because I don't know if you're like me, it's kind of like when you have a question for somebody and you're talking to them face to face, but then you forget the question, right? It's kind of like that. If you have something on your mind that you want to make, maybe you saw something on Pinterest, you saw something in one of my videos or someone else's, and you really wanted to make that card. Jot the note down to remember. We get so busy, and it's so hard to remember all those things that if you just jot the note down of what you wanted to do, great. Now, if you don't have anything in mind, you just want to make something, stay off the interwebs. Okay. We've looked and searched and Pinterest and YouTubed until the cows come home, and that does not actually help our creativity. What helps our creativity is actually working. So what I would say is, I'm sure if you guys are anything like me, you probably have saved pictures somewhere of things that you like, whether it's on your phone or on your computer or wherever, or maybe even just opening up your catalog. Just pick a stamp set to work with and then start from there. Now, I do encourage you to stay off of the internet though, because what happens is you look for the perfect card to make and then you spend all of your time looking. So instead of that, just open your catalog maybe, because that might kind of get your juices flowing, and settle on one stamp set. Now, the one thing that I thought was really surprising to me was that a bunch of people said that they didn't like copying cards. And I will have to just say, don't. And here's why. The one thing that I think is so important that you forget is that it's okay to copy. In fact, everything I do is for you to copy. And that's if you're a demonstrator, a customer, whatever. Copying is the easiest way to get creative. And it's okay if you don't make something that's new and original on your own. That's okay. And here's why I know that's true. So my other hobby is knitting, as you might have known from posts and things that I've talked about before. So I don't just knit. Are you kidding me? No. I copy a pattern. I might do it exactly like the pattern, as in the colors that the pattern creator used, or I might alter the colors to fit something that I would like or what I have on hand. But I copy the pattern a lot. Sewing has patterns, knitting has patterns, quilting has patterns. We all need to just give ourselves a break and copy. It's okay to copy. There's nothing wrong with that. And one thing that just made me a little bit sad was that so many people say that they didn't want to copy cards. And I argue copying cards makes you a better stamper. In fact, for many years, I've been a demonstrator almost 22 years. For many, many, many of those years, the vast majority of the cards I made were in some way or another copied. So give yourselves a break, and it's okay to copy, especially if that means that you're going to get a little bit more done. I didn't exactly mean to kind of go off on this tangent exactly, but I remembered that I wanted to talk about that. So copying is a great thing. So if you have a class of projects that are ready to go make them. If you have made one of those cards and then you're like, ooh, what if I changed this? Or what if I did this? Or what if I did this? Oh, perfect. Keep doing that. Oh, Catherine just said she copies her old designs with new stamps. So do I. I keep a file of cards on hand. And if you're in my Facebook class, you've seen this, where I show a lot of really old cards. Like some of them are really old, but I love the design. And so I take them and make them new with new stamps and whatnot. The other thing is that my Facebook class is actually one of my favorite classes because it is built-in stamping time for me. I love Facebook class because I'm not working necessarily on super specific projects. They are kind of specific, but I can kind of do whatever I want. And I find I am actually the most creative during my Facebook classes, and I love them. So I think it's a really great avenue to help you get stamping. So it's just really helpful. If you haven't taken my Facebook class, I highly recommend it. Our first December class is on Thursday. And this wasn't a huge long segue into take my Facebook class, though it kind of turned out like that. It is a really great value, and I show you a lot. And actually, I think we're going to revisit this whole concept a little bit in the beginning of our December class, just to kind of bring the joy back. I think that it's maybe a little necessary right now. So, do I have a Pinterest page? Well, of course I do, Kim. Absolutely. It's, I'm sure, Dina Rica or the Creativity Cave, or I don't know. Yeah. So, Susan, you don't have Facebook. Can you still watch? Not in December, but in January. The answer to that is almost 100% yes. I believe January will be my first Facebook class that's actually not going to be on Facebook. So I'm working on moving over to a new platform. So details will be coming soon about that. I've been working towards this for a while because I know not everybody's on Facebook, but right now they are. And so for December, it would have to be on Facebook because I just can't manage it not being on Facebook. Will we still be able to see the videos done? The previous videos? Absolutely. Nothing will change. Just going forward, it will be, new ones will be there. Well, look, Rose found me on Pinterest because she's following me. I just got a notification. That's funny. Okay, so I have a few announcements and then we'll get to the stamping. So the first thing that's really exciting and important and great and noteworthy, that's the word I'm looking for, is today is the last day to get my Pretty Perennials stamp set autographed for free. So I will talk about this here in just a second. In fact, I think I'm going to flip my camera around so I can talk about it, and then you can see my stamp set in all of its glory. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to flip my camera. It's possible there's some stuff here. Hello. Aw, you look good. My son, here, let's flip the camera back one. No. Whoops. Oh, you're going to see my messy. There we go. Say hi.
Hi.
He got his hair cut. It was really bad. Okay. Well, it was long. I'm just saying.
And I would have made it look great if it wasn't for...
Yeah. I just, like, the best thing in the whole world happened. A girl told him he should cut his hair. Oh, mom says it? No. Girl says it? Done. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Carl. Ooh. Hi.
Say something in French.
Oh, avoir du flow.
What does that mean? Say it with a French accent. Sheesh.
Avoir du flow.
What does that mean?
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds
right.
like a man.
All right. Anything else?
Quel
dommage. Zut alors.
Wait, what does that mean?
What a bummer.
Quel dommage means like see you later, right?
No.
What?
What a bummer. Quel dommage. What a bummer. Quel.
Okay.
Zut alors means like, what? Or sort of, I don't know.
Je parle un peu France. Okay, that I speak a little French.
Yes, that's Therese. I have a good-looking son. I do. He's cute.
You used to be a biologist. When the DNA is...
I cannot answer you a complicated question while I'm live.
Is it DNA or RNA polymerase?
Go on. Okay. I can't talk about that right now. Okay. Oh boy. Seriously, you guys. Okay, I've got my stamps for one of our projects is encroaching on my space. All right. Yeah, my son. You know, I think it's funny. He'll listen to girls, but not his mother. That's probably like par for the course, though. Also, I have this paper that keeps falling down. All right. Anyway. Okay. Oh, look, you guys are so cute. My French, I don't know if you're talking about my French or Carl's French. I took 2 years of French in high school, and I don't know how I passed a semester of French in college, but I remember very little, except what I had learned on The Little Mermaid. Okay. All right. The girl must have been cute. Well, you know what? It's not even the one she likes, or he likes, but that's okay. All right. So, oh, and French is your first language? Yeah, sorry. I'm not real good at it. Okay, so I have my 12 Days of Christmas special. Today is actually the last day, and I'm pretty excited because tonight I have a whole bunch of prizes to give away, including several bundles for my VIPs. So how that works is when you order, you can get my stamp set for free. I will autograph it for you. You must use this host code, and actually I have a link to it in the description of my video here right now. If you spend $50, you'll get my Artistry Blooms All-Star Tutorial, and that's just my special that's always going on all month long. So this month is Artistry Blooms. And then at $100 in my online store, you'll get a free copy that's autographed of my stamp set. It will come out in January. Is the screen blurry? I don't think so. I don't see it. I'm cleaning my lens just to make sure, but I don't think so. Let's see. So $100, you'll get my free autographed stamp set. And if you spend $150 in my online store, you'll get the online class that will go with this. That will come out in January. And then last but not least, if you spend $200 in my online store, you will get the pre-cut cardstock for that online class. My online class will be $25 for the online only version, or $45 with the pre-cut cardstock, plus the stamp set, plus the all-star tutorial. That is $81 in fabulousness with the $200 order. Again, you must use that host code because that is going to help me pay for it. And I'm giving you more than you would have gotten if you didn't use the host code. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a really great special, but it ends tonight. So please make sure you take advantage of this awesome special. And if you don't want to take advantage of it now, there will still be an opportunity to get my stamp set autographed, but this is the only way to get it for free. So it ends tonight. So make sure you get in on that. It's so awesome. Oh, I love it so much. It makes me happy. And I made some really cute cards with it on Friday night. So that was fun. Okay. Always, whenever you spend $50 each month, I have a different all-star tutorial bundle. These are 12 video tutorials. So there's a video for each one of these projects. And this month's focuses on the Artistry blooms, not Christmas. And it's just a really wonderful set of projects, really bright and happy. So I love that. Next up, the Peony Garden Creativity to Go kit is going to come out later this week. We are going to make a project with the Peony Garden today. And then yesterday, you might have seen I did a simple to stunning Sunday using some really pretty cards from this. And actually, the card I'm going to make today is kind of based a little bit on that. So yeah, kind of fun. And by the way, these cards will be mainly sympathy cards, though you could make them whatever you want. All right, next up, In the Pines. This is a masculine and all occasion card class. This one, it comes out tomorrow, not tomorrow, the next day, Wednesday, yeah. And it is going to be a bunch of really awesome cards, kind of a little bit of everything, but I love this bundle, so much fun. I've been asked a lot lately if the dies are available, and no, they are not. They are not available because they have sold out. And remember, when that discontinued list comes out, it is while supplies last, and the dies have sold out. But if you already have this bundle, this is going to be a fantastic class. I'm very excited about it. This is the one I do with my Stampin' Besties, so it's a great class. We mentioned earlier our December Facebook class. This is going to start out on, let's see, Thursday afternoon, and you can still get in on it. You can order 1 month, or you can subscribe for a year. If you do a year, it's a great savings, huge savings actually, so I highly recommend it, and it's so much fun. Lots and lots of really helpful information in this class, so there you go. Also, I still have a few Gnome for the Holidays Creativity to Go kits. They were from last month. They're so stinking cute. And if you are in need of some quick Christmas cards, this is a great class. Our game night, if you participated in December's game night, this was last week we had it. And actually, we're going to make a card today. That was one of the ones I showed you during game night, but we're going to make it into a full, well, anyway, you'll see. Registration for January's game night is going to come out around January 1st, so watch for that. And if you participated in game night, if you are registered, I sent the PDF of all the projects to you today, so make sure you check your email. The subject line is December 2020 Stampin' Game Night Make and Takes. So there you go. And last but not least is the Quite Curvy bundle. It is our special this month. It's a preview from the upcoming occasions catalog. So you can get the bundle, you can get the Curvy Christmas stamp set, and you can also get the DSP. So there's 3 choices, or you can get them all in a big bundle, which is at a discount. And if you do that, I have a great online class that goes with this. You can check that out. Okay. That's everything. It's time to stamp. Now, one of the first cards I have for you was a guest request, and it is, somebody wanted a New Year's card. And I am so happy that the year is about over, and I'm willing to bet you guys feel the same way, right? 2020 has been quite a year, so I think it's time to get a new year going, right? Okay, so what I wanted to do with this, I started with a Whisper White card, and I decided that 2021 is coming up, sunshines and rainbows, right? So I pulled some colors, and these were actually left over from trimming cardstock for another card we're going to do. So we've got some really fun colors for today's cards, but I wanted to make just a fun, kind of happy card for 2020. So what I'm going to do is start. I'm just trying to decide how to do this best. What I'm going to do is actually put some adhesive on my card here. This should be enough. And I'm going to take, these are just 1/4-inch strips. So, oh, they're not long enough. Oh, because you know what? I meant to do them the other way. Oh, well, this is okay. We'll trim our cardstock down a little bit. No one will know. Do you like, this is how I roll. Okay. So I'm going to just put these strips of cardstock on my paper, butted right up against each other. So we've got Magenta Madness was our first color. Then our next color, oops, is Mango Melody. Then I've got Poppy Parade. And I'm going to trim this off since I didn't quite cut them long enough. I originally intended to do this the other direction of my card, but then I changed my mind at the last minute, as I so often like to do, you know me. Then I've got Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, and finally, and obviously, Coastal Cabana, which I need just a little bit more adhesive for. I'm trying to get all the goobers off of this. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I've got these fun rainbows, but let's trim this down a little bit better. Let's see. Got to get my handy ruler out. This is 4 7/8. So we need this direction to be 3 5/8. And then just another smidgen off of that. There we go. Oh, perfect. So bright, happy colors. Then I took the Pattern Play stamp set and I die cut 2021. I almost did 2020 and then I realized that that is no longer the year. And I need to have like some fun, quippy sentiment to go on the inside, like, oh my gosh, you survived, or wow, good for you. I can't believe we made it. But I die cut 2021. So this is from the Pattern Play bundle. And what I love is that the alphabet comes with numbers and symbols and everything. So it's all kinds of awesome. But one of the images in the stamp set is this kind of fun little speckly thing. So we're going to add some of that to the background of our card. Okay. And I've got my Versamark ink pad here, and I'm just going to stamp this. And what I love about Versamark is that you can stamp Versamark on all these colors, you know, and it just shows up a little bit darker than the cardstock itself. So that's kind of fun. So you don't have to try and match ink. You can just stamp this across all of the different patterns. And then when you do that, you can see it kind of shows up as it dries a little bit better. So it will continue to kind of show up here. So there we go. Then we're going to add the 2021. Now, one of my tips for using letters like this is to kind of arrange them how you want. And you can even use this, you can even use like a ruler or something to line them up. But then what I'm going to do is actually pick them up with a Post-it note. I believe Post-its are one of the most important stamping supplies that you can have. And what's great about this is now my adhesive I can put on the back, and then I'm keeping everything lined up together. So I'm going to grab some liquid glue, and we're going to put this on like so. Okay, and then we're going to position this onto our card like so. Okay, so I'm just kind of making sure there we go. So 2021. Now, it's even better when you put it on straight. This is not 100% straight, but that's okay. But you know what we could do to make it straight? It's a little bit off right now. So what I'm going to do is just kind of tweak it ever so slightly. And now, when I do that, it'll be straight. There we go. Oh, now it's straight. Ah, I love that. Okay, so we've got our cute little sprinkles on here and everything else. Now, we've whittled this down just a bit from our original size, but I think actually I kind of like it like this. So I'm going to pop this up. So I figured that part out when I was working on actually my Gnome for the Holidays class. I used that lining up trick and it was really handy. Okay, so I'm gonna just pop this up. I actually think in the stamp set, hold on. No. I thought there was one that says something like congratulations, you did it. Let's see, congrats. No. I think we could do hip hip hooray and you did it. That will work. So hip hip hooray and you did it. Ooh, I haven't used you did it yet, so awesome. All right, so I think that'll be nice for the inside of our card. You survived until 2021. That's something to be proud of this year, isn't it? Yes, there is one that says you've got this. That would be a good one too. Is my table I'm working on actually wood or paper? It's actually vinyl. It's flooring. So there we go. All right. And then I actually think
We could put a little bow on here. Susan, you have that flooring at your house? That's funny. Yeah, I take my pictures on it. I really like it. And it's pretty durable. Okay. Now, one thing I kind of liked about this rainbow is I didn't do it in rainbow order per se. And so I think that just makes it kind of fun and bright versus real rainbowy, you know? So I don't know. So we're going to just add a little bow. And by the way, that my number lining up tip works for the letters too. So it's really helpful. Okay, and there is my bow, except at that. There we go. We got to get this thing under control. There we go. So 2021, hip hip hooray, you did it. All right, and that was from the best year stamp set. So that's where those came from. All right. Now, if you liked these colors, we're going to do another card with these colors. This time, we're going to use the Quite Curvy bundle. And I really like this bundle. When I first saw it, I'll be honest, it wasn't like my favorite. But I have really grown to love it. And of course, I think where this one really shines is the dies that are in it. But let me show you this card. And this was actually one I've been meaning to do for several weeks now. So the colors I used on this card, I had cut quarter sheets so that I could make the card we're about to make. And so I took some of the leftovers from cutting those into these little strips, and that's where this card came from. So this was actually the first card. So on this card, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I cut a bunch of these strips, and so I just want to adhere them down. So the first thing that I recommend doing is just cutting them. And then you can kind of piece them together however you want. So again, I'm going to go outside of the rainbow order a bit. And you can see they're all kind of at a little bit different angles, which is done on purpose so that they're not all the same. And then here we go. I guess actually like that. Okay. So that just kind of gives you an idea. And I don't know if I like this color combo. Hold on. Maybe it's better if I start like this. Of course, we had to get the color that lets us know God loves us in there. I mean, hello. Okay. I think the real problem is I might use the color order I used on that 2021 card because I really do like that. Okay, so I'm going to start with that and then go here and then go here. Oh yeah, I'm liking this better. And then go here and then go here and finally here. Okay, so that is my color combo. All right, so I'm going to pull these out. And you can make this whatever kind of card you want. So I'm thinking one of the things we need a lot right now are thank yous, or we will be needing our thank yous. But maybe not. This needs to be special. Maybe hip hip hooray actually works for this one too. I kind of like that. Okay, I'm going to stamp that in basic gray once again. I think that's what I used on the last card too. And I'm going to stamp it right there. Oh, I love that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to cut some of this off because it's too much. So I'm going to kind of put that right on there like so. And then we're just going to go down the row, and keep in mind we'll be cutting off a bunch of this. And you can kind of tilt, by the way, things so that they're not all lined up, you know, exactly perfect. And that's how we kind of want it to be. Just make sure you're getting it far enough across the card. Oh, so cute. Yes, there really are a lot of possibilities. Now, in case you're wondering where I got this from, it's actually the Stampin' Up's, what do you call it? Their sample. Oh, yes, I love this. Okay, so here's my last piece. Okay, now we're going to cut off all that excess. You can see there's quite a bit. And because these layers are pretty thick, I'm going to use my snips to cut through, because we've got quite a few layers in a few spots. And I think my trimmer would kind of be mad at me. Deb, I cannot add it to your order. This is coming from me, not from Stampin' Up. And it's not actually available until January, but my special is if you place your order now, I will order them in January, and then it will ship to you in about mid-January. And then of course I will be able to autograph it. So I can't add it to your cart. That it doesn't quite work that way, but yeah. Okay, so there we go. Hip, hip, hooray. Isn't that cool? So now we're going to put this. So today has been sunshine and rainbowy, huh? This is our last rainbow card, but our next card's so stinking cute, you're not even going to be able to handle it. So it'd be fine. Now the panel of white that I started with is 4 by 5 1/4. And so we'll just put it on our card like this. And who would not want to get this card in the mail? Oh my gosh. So awesome. The Hip Hip Hooray came from the Best Year stamp set. That is the set I've been using a lot. It has some really nice sentiments and kind of a little bit of the innie outie situation where there's something for the inside and the outside of your card. So I love that. So, oh yeah, it does remind me of places you'll go. That's totally right. Yes, whoever said that. So there we go. So those were kind of 2 cards with the same color combination, obviously different, but both really fun. Okay, our next card, as I said, is going to be a little different, but it's so stinking cute, you're not even going to be able to handle it. It was a card that I showed during my game night last week, but I didn't actually demonstrate it. So I wanted to do that for you today. So I'm going to start with actually, let me grab one of my papers. And by the way, this is the sample I was talking about. This was one of Stampin' Up's samples, and that's kind of where I got the idea from. Although I did mine a little differently. Same concept, just a bunch of colors on there. Okay, so on this next card, I'm going to start with one of our note cards and envelopes. And actually, I just need the note card. I'm not going to use the envelope on this. and I'll fold that in half and give it a good crease. And then I'm going to use the Freezing Fun bundle, which is just so dang cute. This one is getting retired, but it is still available. And it is so fun for cards beyond Christmas. I think these are great cards for all winter long. And they're great thank you cards for after the holidays. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take the background and give it a little color. So for that, I'm going to use my blending brushes. And if you have not heard, Stampin' Up! Has blending brushes coming out in January. So I'm very excited about them. They're wonderful. So I'm going to pick up some ink and I'm just going to put this on the background of my card. So I'm starting by pressing pretty lightly till I can kind of get a feel for how much color is coming off my brush, and then I can add more if I want. Okay. So I just started using these, so they don't have a ton of color in them yet, but I really like the way they work. They're quite wonderful. Okay, so there is my card. Now I also, ahead of time, die cut the hill. There's a hill that comes in the stamp set. And what's kind of fun is it's stitched. So it's a little bit like what we just did, but instead of the dots, it's just stitching. And now I can use that to attach to my card like so. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. So there we go. I've got my hill on my card. And did I just get schmutz on there? I think I did. Let's get rid of that. Phew! Okay. So next up, I'm going to snip off the excess. There's a lot of that going on today, isn't there? All right. So I've got my snowbank on there. Adorable. Love it. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. Actually, I'm going to pull a couple stamps out. So first of all, I wanted to use the snowflakes on here. And then I also want my sentiment, which is sending warmth your way. Now, if you are in, depending on where you are in the Midwest, last week it was like 60 degrees one day. And today I think the high was like 23. So it's kind of like, what's happening? That is kind of the season we're in. It can be anywhere from spring-like temperatures to bitter cold winter temperatures. You just never know what you're going to get. Okay, I'm going to set my ink aside for a moment. Now I stamped and die cut these pieces ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me do it. But I stamped them on white cardstock with my Memento black ink, and then I die cut them, and we're going to color them in. So for this, I will use some Highland Heather blends, and I need a little light flamingo, some Granny Apple Green, and some Smoky Slate. If I can get these. I just dumped all of my stuff because my dumb marker wouldn't move. Makes me crazy. Okay, so let's do a little blend coloring. So for this, oops, I'm at my other end. I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring, as I said. This one is going to be the skis. So I'm putting just a teensy bit of the dark gray. And then I will blend that out to light. Surprise weather. Yeah, that's a pretty good description of it. It's kind of crazy. Okay. So I'm just blending this with my lighter marker. And that looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to, I know, right? It didn't sound good, did it? I'm going to do the cute little nose and the ears with my Flirty Flamingo light. So I'm just putting a little bit on there. So cute. And then I'm going to use the Highland Heather for the scarf. Okay, and for this, I'll just put a little bit of the dark at the bottom here. And then we'll blend with the light. So I love working with blends. They just give you such bright, vivid results. And they're just, you don't have to be a professional colorist to get really good looking results. So that's pretty awesome. I do love that. Okay. So there we go. Oh, so stinking cute. Now we're going to do our two trees. And for these, I'm going to use my Granny Apple Green. And we've got the white for the snow, but we're going to do kind of this in-between color. And so I'm just going to lay down a little bit of the dark at the bottom of each of these sections. And then we'll blend it to light. So likewise here. And I found if you struggle with bleeding, to maybe give a little bit more time for your colors in between. If your markers are real juicy, they're going to bleed more. So if you've had them a little longer, they are less likely to bleed. But if you do have trouble with bleeding, just give a little bit more space to the edge of your lines, meaning don't go right all the way up to the edge. And that will help. Oh, hello. I left you a little note. The charms? Yes. Yes. Yes, it did. Okay. All right. So there we go. We've got that one colored. So cute. So of course, all of these images are from the same stamp set, the Freezing Fun. And I love the cute little sentiments that come with it. They're very sweet. Okay, so look at that. Oh, it's like I'm a professional colorer, but I'm not. That's what makes me happy. Okay, so I'm going to arrange these on my card like so. And doesn't that look so awesome against that background? I think it does. All right, now I'm going to attach this one with a glue dot or two. And what's kind of cool about a glue dot is if you put two on top of each other, it's almost like a pop dot, a dimensional, but not quite. So it'll give you just a little bit of lift without, too much lift. You know what I mean? So then I can take this one and actually pop this one up. So I get a little more dimension on my cards. Okay. I'll just put that tree on right there. And then I'm going to fully pop up my ridiculously cute skier bunny. Okay. Now there's one other stamp in this set, and if I can fit it in, I will. And that is, I don't know if there'll be enough room. That's this right here. It's just cute. I'm not sure if I can get it on and still have room for my bunny, but we'll give it a shot. So if I put it right there, I bet I could. Okay, so I'm just gonna go like that. And, oh, there we go. I've got my bunny going down the hill. Kinda like that. It's just so cute, isn't it? Okay. Now, the last but not least is we need to add our sentiment, which is sending warmth your way. I'll do that in basic gray because it kind of will go with everything I'm doing. Okay. A little crooked, but not too bad. So there we go. Now, if I get it super crooked, what I could do is just cut a piece and glue it on top so it wasn't crooked. But wait, there's more. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to put this on a full card because this is kind of a small card. So I have a piece of Coastal Cabana to glue to the back of this. So our card is going to open like this, but then we're going to adhere it to another piece of cardstock just to make it a little bigger. And then we're going to also adhere it to a quarter sheet of Whisper White. And now it will fit in a regular envelope. And it's just a little bit more of a card than our other card, than this note card. Okay. So, well, hello, Diana. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love making cards for you guys. Okay, so now this will fit in a standard envelope, but it will open like that. So kind of cool. To make it just a little bit more. Now, oh, there's one other thing I wanted to do though, and that was add some snowflakes kind of in the air, like so. I meant to do that before we stuck our tree down, but oh well, we're going to leave it like that. Just a few little snowflakes on there. So you can do the note card version, or you can kind of step it up into a card version. It's still going to open just like that. All right, so that was our next card. Next up, let's see. Well, I dumped everything on my table, so hold on. I hate when this happens too, because it's always when I'm super organized. Oh yeah, everything fell down. Okay, our next card is our one Christmas card. Let me get the pieces. Everything fell. Hi.
Did you lose something?
Oh, I dumped my pile of cardstock.
No.
And so
Here we are.
here we are. Okay. So this is a card for the Wishes and Wonder bundle. This was one, I really like this bundle, but just haven't had the chance to play with it nearly enough. And so I thought we would make a card with this. So I want to take the, let's see, the mistletoe stamp, which I'm pretty sure is what that is, as well as the reindeer stamp, and we're going to make a little background here. Okay, let's get all my pieces back together. That's for the next card. Okay, so I've die cut. I love this die. This is in there, and we're going to use it with this really cool sentiment. I've got a piece of cherry cobbler, and then I'm going to use some of our beautiful plaid tidings DSP. So I'm going to take and, like I said, stamp my reindeer and my mistletoe in the background a little bit. on here. And then, oh my gosh, I almost dumped the rest of my stack. Oh, how do I decide when to stop adding embellishments? I sometimes feel your cards are too plain, then you go overboard. Just when you think, oh, I could just add one more, don't. That's my first advice. Don't. Yes, over embellishing is a common problem. But literally, I think one of my best pieces of advice is if you're thinking, should I add another thing? No. That's probably the best course of action. But in all reality, yes, you can over embellish cards so easily. I think one rule of thumb is you can add a ribbon and like rhinestones or sequins, but you shouldn't add like rhinestones and sequins or two different ribbons. Usually that doesn't work. Maybe if you're layering them, but I think what happens is people are like, oh, well, this coordinates and this coordinates and this coordinates, so I should use them. Well, not necessarily. You don't have to have every single thing on there. Okay, so this card will kind of give us a good example of that. So here is, I stamped the reindeer on here. I know the glare on this makes it a little bit tricky to see. Then I'm also going to add that mistletoe, which I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Like that on there. I think my ink pad is a little dry. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to re-ink it. Oh my gosh, can't find my reinker. Hold on, I know I've got it. Okay, 1 second. Okay, during our one-day sale, I got reinkers because I was out of several. So here's a brand new cherry cobbler. Let's put this baby to work. So this is actually good to see how I re-ink pads. Now, this is one of those where the ink doesn't want to come out very fast. So what I do is I put re-inker on my ink pad, like so. This one's coming out super slow. I can hear music in the background and I'm dying to know what my husband is watching. It sounds like a fabulous action adventure. It's probably The Mandalorian. He really likes that show. It's in the other room. Okay, so I've added a bunch of reinker to this. Okay, but now here's where this is really important. I've got a spoon. And I'm going to work the ink into the ink pad. And that way it's not all globby on the top of the surface of the pad. Now, when you store these, the ink will kind of go back to the surface, but you want to work it in so that, like I said, you don't have those blobs everywhere. Okay, and then I'll just clean that off on my chamois or whatever. Okay, so let's ink that up. And oh yes, it's inking up much better. Now this is kind of a thick ink, but okay. So I'm going to stamp my reindeer right here. There, that's much better. You can see that now. And then we'll stamp our mistletoe. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere this piece of DSP on here. Okay. And we'll stick that down. Then I'm going to take some coordinating braided linen trim. This is in our annual catalog. And it's going to coordinate nicely with the creme cake that's in here. And let's see, I wanted to... is it worth buying re-inkers or just buy a new pad? Oh my gosh, re-inkers for sure. A re-inker is like $3.75 and a new pad is $8.75, and a re-inker will re-ink your pad several times over. 100% re-inkers. Yes. It's kind of like, would you have plastic silverware at your house, or would you wash the silverware? It's a little bit like that anyway. Yes, I think re-inkers are a very good idea. They will make your ink pad last much, much longer. And you don't want to throw away your ink pads because they will last for many, many years. But I do recommend getting the re-inker when you get your ink pad, and here's why. There's nothing worse than having a dry ink pad and having to wait for the re-inker to arrive. So, yeah. Do re-inkers retire and disappear, or do you always buy them? Well, we have in colors that come and go, but our main 40 colors stay. So those main 40 colors continue to be available many years after many years. And then the in colors, they kind of come and go. So right now our in colors are Magenta Madness, Bumblebee, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider. They're on a 2-year cycle, so we're partway through the first year. And then the second round of re-inkers, meaning we're partway through the second year, or I'm sorry, in colors, are the Pretty Peacock, Seaside Spray, Rococo Rose, Terracotta Tile, and Purple Posy. Now those ones will retire at the end of this catalog, this annual catalog, so they won't be around quite as long. I mean, they're still the same amount of time. They just go every so often. How often do I need to re-ink my ink pads? It really depends. Coastal Cabana does get re-inked a little more often than certain colors. It's just depending on how often I use them. Do I still have the old style ink pads and use them, or have I switched over to all new style? Janice, because this is my full-time career, I do have all the new ink pads, and that's what I use. Can you use the old re-inker on a new style pad? If not, how can you tell if the re-inker is the old formula or the new? Oh, that's a good question. Can you use the old re-inker on a new pad? Yes, but I would say the but part is you can, but the new formulation is better. It has an agent in it which keeps bubbling from happening. And if you've ever seen bubbling, you know what that means. It like a solid image won't stamp clear. It will have like bubbly stuff in them. So it's kind of up to you. I really like our new ink pads. There's, let me show you. And there's actually been two, depending on how long you've been around, there's 2 types of new ink pads. So let me quick show you. I have one here. So I remember this color, Peekaboo Peach. I really like this one. So this is the old style case. Okay, where you would push on the dots and flip it around. Okay, so that's the old style case, and this is the new style ink pad. So it's like a foam, we call it firm foam. The other kind is going to be a really old style pad. So here's one where it's the old style pad, but then this is, can you see that? It's a felt pad. So it's like felt, not foam. So there is a difference between that. And hopefully you can see the texture in there. So this is really old. And then this is old, but not quite as old as the felt version. Okay. So I have switched over to the new version of ink pads. So unlike that style case, then we came out with this thinner case. You can see it is a bit thinner. And it's the same ink, but it's a little, the formulation, like I said, has that defoaming agent in it. And these came out, I want to say like 2 years ago, like maybe coming up on 3 years ago. So anyway, these ones are the ones that have the little stickers in them. So that defoaming agent keeps the bubbles from happening. And that shows up mainly on solid stamps, but it can show up on others. And that was actually one of the issues with the Purple Posy ink pad, which is a pad we don't carry anymore. It's one of the in colors that's going to be going away here in a few months. But as far as using your ink pads, you can use the new reinkers on old pads. That's no problem. But putting the old reinkers on new ink pads, that is more of a problem. Now, how to tell the difference between them? Oh, that's the like $1 million question. These are brand new reinkers. So let's take a look. So I would say the first thing is the label is going to look a little different. You can see, like, you can see this is, first of all, an older one. I don't know how old it is, like how old this ink reinker is. It looks kind of old, but it's not super old. But the newer ones, are going to be, they have a little bit more labeling on them. I don't know if there's really a good way to tell the difference. So if somebody knows, I'm not 100% sure. Susan is saying too hard to open at time without getting ink on your fingers. What do you, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Susan. I think it's really just kind of your need maybe practice opening them, because they do open totally different. So that might be the difference. So the long answer short is I don't know how to identify the difference between your reinkers being old or being new. I'm pretty sure I got rid of all my old ones, to be 100% honest with you. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. Okay. The casing gets stuck at times. You know what, Susan, if you take a bar of soap and rub it on there, or else just open them and close them a few times, that loosens them up a lot. Like it really helps. Yes, Cindy, if you ordered your ink after, yes, I'm pretty sure. On the new pads, I can't squeeze them tight enough to get ink on the lids for other techniques. Yes, open up your ink pad. Take your reinker and add a drop. Boom. That's how you get ink in your ink pads. The other thing is, what I suggest is really squeezing with your two palms. Before I could just go, and hardly touch it, and it worked. But you can see that does work. But if you really can't get them to squeeze, then just put a drip of reinker in the lid. Another good reason to have reinkers. So, okay, so back to my card. Let me get this ink pad out of the way. Okay, so I have stamped on my little piece of cherry cobbler. I have also taken and embossed with my Tasteful Texture, or Tasteful Textile embossing folder, a piece of garden green, which again coordinates with my lovely Christmas plaid, and we're going to adhere that. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment on a scrap of crumb cake. Okay, I'm going to adhere this first though. And oh my goodness, you can really see that so much better after we re-inked that pad. So I don't know if that answers the question. Was something like, actually we're going to pull this off and we're going to scooch this over just a little. Put it back down. Okay, and then we're going to put this right over the top. So this again is from the dies from this set. We'll pop this up. And I have this die cut in white. The Curvy dies, I believe they are back in stock. I just received some today that were back ordered, so I'm assuming they're back in stock. And I don't think I saw them on the back order list. So I believe they should be back right now. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp this on a scrap of crumb cake cardstock in some garden green ink. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I re-inked this ink pad recently, so it looks fantastic. Okay, and then I'll take the little circle die that's part of this, and I'm going to die cut this. Now to make sure it does not move on me. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to adhere this. Okay, Tanya says, press a block into the ink pad and use that as your palette instead of the lid. I actually would not recommend doing that for a couple reasons, and I'll tell you why. I like the idea of it, and you can do a slightly modified version of that. Instead of pressing your block into your pad, first of all, I don't know about you guys, but my blocks are incredibly dirty. They pick up all kinds of stuff, adhesive, and just junk. I would instead take a clean block and drop re-inker onto it. Whenever you put all of that gook on your ink pads, it sticks to your ink pad where it's really hard to get off. And so I would actually instead encourage you to put a re-inker onto your block, just because it's a big fat bummer when that stuff gets in your ink pad because you can't get it off, you know? And I've had problems with that. Okay, so this looks really nice, but we're going to kick it up one notch. Just one, not two, just one. I'm going to take some of my rhinestones. So here's an example of a couple ways we could do this. I could take some of my holiday rhinestones and put, so these have green and red. They have all these different colors and yellow. I could put green and red on here, but I think that the red might not show terribly well, and the green would kind of be a lot of contrast. So instead what I'm going to do is, instead of using my holiday ones, I'm going to use my champagne. And so that's going to kind of coordinate, the champagne is going to kind of match the crumb cake. I've got crumb cake here, and then I've got crumb cake in here. And so what I'm going to do is take and put a few of these on here with my take your pick tool, and just a few, not like 20. I like to work in odd numbers. Okay, So there we go. I've got 3 on here, and I think that looks great. Notice it's not too busy. Our focal point is still our focal point. Someone mentioned that earlier. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, you had a hard time inking your new white pad. The ink seemed thick. Yes, it is supposed to be thick, Vicky. It is special ink. It's actually called craft ink. It's supposed to be wet. It stays wet longer. It won't dry right away like our classic ink pads. And yes, it takes a lot longer to get the ink into that pad and to get it to work. So yeah. Okay, guys, we still have one more card to do. It's actually going to be a quick one because I did a lot of the work ahead of time. This card is going to feature the prized Peony, which if you recall, I mentioned is part of my Creativity to Go kit this month. Or not part of, it's the focus of my Creativity to Go kit. And we're really encroaching down on just the size of our card space left on our work surface, which always makes me giggle. But this card is actually a little bit based on one of the ones that I did yesterday. It features that same DSP. So we've got this beautiful DSP, and I just loved it. And I thought, oh, I want to add some color to this. Now, I could color in all of these flowers, and that would be very beautiful. But that would also take approximately forever. So instead of doing that, what I decided to do was color the background of the paper, and look at that. So I left just a little corner that we can do. And so here we go. Vicky, the tip for distributing the ink on the white pad is the exact same as the other pad. Use a spoon, rub it in. You just have to put a lot more ink, especially if you're starting with an uninked pad. Those pads used to come inked, but then the ink would leak, and that was bad. So now they come uninked. So you really got to put a lot of ink to get that pad going. So yep, keep using the spoon trick like I showed just a few minutes ago. Okay, so I'm going to use my Seaside Spray blends for this, and all that I'm going to do is color the background portion of my card. So I've got just a little bit left here in the corner, and so I'm starting with the dark, and I'm basically kind of putting a line down on the edge of the design. And so this is pretty easy. I'm leaving the actual flowers and leaves themselves plain. Okay, and then I'm going to blend this with the lighter. And then I have just a gorgeous background. So you can see I'm doing just this little section here, but then I did the whole rest of the section ahead of time. So you didn't have to watch me do the whole thing because it took a little while. Not a long time, but a little while. Okay, and look at how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. Okay, so all I did was color the background. That's it, just these parts. So simple. Okay, so I wanted to take this and add it to a card. Oh, actually, no, that's for the inside, sorry. I'm gonna add it to a basic gray card. Okay. All right. So here we go. We've got our basic gray card. We're going to adhere this, and then I've got a layer for the inside. Now, I also want to add some ribbon because it's just so pretty. And then, of course, we're going to add our sentiment. So, but I also, before I adhere all this, I also wanted to do a little panel on my inside of my card. Okay, so for that, I've got my Stamparatus sit up, and let's see, we're just gonna do something here for just a second. There we go. Okay, So next up, like I said, I wanted to add this, and I'm going to change it just, oops, a little bit. So I'm going to put this, oh, and of course, I couldn't do that without getting ink on everything. I'm going to put this up here. And like I said, I wanted to get just a little bit of this kind of in the corner. So I'll pick this up. And part of why I'm using my Stamparatus is because I want to, it's easier to use the Stamparatus than it is to pick up that big stamp with a block and then work with the stamp. So we're just going to do this. Now my other trick is, yes, there we go. We'll rub it on there and, oh, pretty. So this is going to be just for the inside of our card. Okay, of course I did manage to smudge some ink on here, so let me get rid of that. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right. So let's put this to the inside of our card. Oh, and then I'm also going to add my thoughts are with you. And I'll stamp that in basic gray as well. I don't know why I put my ink pad away because I still need it. And actually we'll put that right down here. Okay. And did you guys check out my Simple to Stunning Sunday cards yesterday? Or maybe you've seen them today. I really liked how pretty they are. They turned out fantastic. And I can't even wait for you guys to see this class when it comes out in a couple days. It's pretty awesome. We were cutting paper for that. And I just love it. Okay, now I had a die cut for this. And of course, that was one of the things that fell. So let me see where it went, because I know I saw it. Oh, and I also have a stamp set to give away. I just realized I didn't do that yet. Let me see here. Well, darn it. Maybe I'll just cut another one quick. Okay, so this die is actually from the Tasteful Labels dies. And I'm going to stamp "So Sorry for Your Loss," because this will be a sympathy card. So we'll stamp that on here. And we're going to go ahead and adhere my DSP. So this was 4 by 5 1/4. And there we go. So pretty. And then I'm going to add a little bit of our ribbon. Now this is gray granite ribbon, but it will work nicely on our basic gray card. It's not quite the right color, but it's similar. And then we're going to add a little bit of embellishments to this one as well. So first I'm going to put some adhesive on here to attach our ribbon like so. And then I'll put some dimensionals on here. And I'm even going to throw one right in the middle just to kind of hold everything in place. Okay. And then this suite has these gorgeous, elegant, faceted gems, and I just love them because they add a little bit of sparkle. And so we're going to add a few of those on here with my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to use, that kind of pearlescent-y one. And we'll put another one right there. And then maybe another one right there. So pretty. So just a few on here to add just a little sparkle. So awesome. So yeah, there we go. Really cute. I should say really pretty. One other thing, maybe we'll do this too. I kind of did this on my card yesterday. I'm going to do a little shimmer spritz on here, not coloring, but just spritzing. And that adds a nice little shimmer to all of this as well. You probably can't pick it up quite so great, but it's there and it's so pretty. Okay, so let me show you all the cards we made today because they were pretty awesome. All right. And then I will go through my ordering special because it ends tonight. So yeah. Okay, so this was the DSP where we colored the background in, not the flowers. Then we had our Christmas card, I think this is probably the last Christmas card I'm going to make on camera. Yay! Our 2 versions of our Freezing Fun card. So cute. The Hip Hip Hooray with the curvy dies. And then our 2021 Hip Hip Hooray, you did it card, which I think is kind of funny. So anyway, I hope you loved the cards. Now I'll go through my ordering special and everything real quick. My 12 Days of Christmas special ends tonight, is the last night for it. And if you're in my VIP group already, I've got a whole bunch of prizes to give away tonight, so I'm excited about that. If you spend $50, you'll get my Artistry Blooms All-Star Tutorial Bundle. If you spend $100, you'll get an autographed Pretty Perennials stamp set. That's my $1 million stamp set. It comes out in January, so I'm very excited about it, but you can earn it from me for free when you spend $100, and then you must use the host code right there. I have a link in the description of this video that'll take you right to that host code, so that's awesome. I've also got, if you spend $150, again, you must use the host code. You will also get the online class PDF, which will be $25 in January. And then if you spend $200, I will send you the All-Star Tutorial Bundle. I'll send you the autographed stamp set. I'll send you the online-only PDF. Plus, I'll send you the pre-cut cardstock. And all of that is an $81 value. So it's a great, great special. Thank you so much to all of you who have ordered and earned this awesome bonus already. I appreciate it. If you still would like to take advantage of this special, you certainly can. You have until tomorrow. So like through the end of today. So till the end of today to do that. And then also my 3 classes for this month are the December Facebook class is Thursday. So check that out. You can get registered from my blog. The In the Pines masculine all occasion cards come out. This comes out, I believe, tomorrow or the next day. I can't remember what day today is versus whenever the 16th is. And then finally, my Pretty Peony or the Peony Garden Creativity to Go kit comes out later this week. And these are generally sympathy cards. So awesome. You ordered twice. Are they added together? Yes, they can be as long as you use the host code on both. Yep. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you here next Monday. Have a great week and bye-bye. Thank you.